Back once again for the renegade master. 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 Back once again for the renegade master.
Hello my renegades and welcome back. And what are we getting back into? We are getting back into Love is Blind season 6 and we are now on episode 11. Well, what can I say about this episode? Really, well and truly, what can I say about this episode? All I can say is I really don't know where they found these people from. Really, well and truly, don't know where they found these people from or what the vetting process is for this season of Love is Blind. But do you know what? It just ain't it. It really just ain't it. These people are messy as fuck. Anyway, before I get into this episode, as I always say, please hit that subscribe button. Please hit that notification button so you know I'm on and doing videos. And let's talk about this episode. So we're back at the pool party, yeah. We are back at the pool party. Everybody's caught up, yeah. We know that Jessica and Jimmy's talked. We know that Chelsea and Trevor's gonna talk. And we sit there and we see basically AD listening to the conversation going on around her. And Matthew's name crops up. And they dub Matthew Clark Kent. He was attractive, don't get me wrong, but his messiness made him ugly. The shit that he had going on made him not a nice person. AD's ears perked up when they said that he looked like Clark Kent. I was like, AD, put your eyes back in your head, because I'm telling you for now, you had a lucky escape from that man. Scratch that. Yeah, she had a lucky, scratch that. Yeah, she had a lucky escape from the man, but then she jumped right back into the frying pan with clay. That's what I wanted to say. That is exactly what I wanted to say. And then, lo and behold, look what the cat dragged in. Sarah Ann walks in to the party. And I'm like, my girl is that brazen. That motherfucking brazen to accept an invite, because you know the producers told her she should go there. Let's not think the producers didn't have a hand in all of the bullshit that carried on afterwards in this stuff. Let's not fool ourselves with that, yeah. Because as I already said, the producers pulled an absolute blinder by inviting Jessica, by inviting Trevor, and then on top of that, after the situation is still raw between Jeramey and Sarah Ann and Laura, they bring Sarah Ann into the mix. I was like, that is some fucked up shit. And it's the brazen way this girl walked in like nothing will go on. The absolute brazen way the girl walked in like nothing will go on. Jeramey looked like he was shitting his pants. And Laura looked like she literally wanted to punch somebody in her throat. Like, seriously. So then you see Trevor calls over Chelsea to have a chat with her. And I have to say, with the shit that I now know about Trevor, I will say I looked at him very, very differently, especially with the conversation that he had with Chelsea. And this time, he may have been playing sincere in the pods, but now that you know the truth about this dude, everything that comes out of his mouth is a motherfucking lie. And he didn't seem as sincere sitting there in front of Chelsea's face when he was talking to her, to be honest with you. Jimmy was hawking them. Jimmy was completely hawking them. They didn't go off to a private place and have a chat. They literally sat with everybody else and was just talking, basically. So Trevor was absolutely digging. He wanted to know what her decision making was, because he didn't understand her decision making in picking Jimmy. She turned around and she basically said that she fell for two people. I don't see that in the slightest. I do not see that in the slightest, because Trevor literally told this girl before Jimmy that he loved her, and he was the only one that he was picking for. My girl had nothing to say to him. But then when Jimmy said that he loved her, she was as giddy as a girl in a school dance. And you could see that. You could see the complete difference. So Trevor then, as he does, asks her again, if she had come to him first, would the outcome be different? Would she have said yes to him? So she turned around and she says that she doesn't think so. She thinks she still would have picked Jimmy. So Trevor then fished and said, are you saying that now because he's right there? Or are you saying it just because you're being a good person? So she was like, no, it's just it's the absolute truth. At the end of the day, she picked Jimmy because as she was saying, now that's her person. I'm just like, yeah, I don't see it. I really don't. So basically, Chelsea does give him a bone and says to Trevor that you were my number one up until the last day. I just like, he wasn't your number one. You were talking to two people, and I really think Jimmy was her number one. As I've already explained before, I think Chelsea put Jimmy there, or fought for Jimmy more so than Trevor, because she wanted to one up Jessica. And I think that's the only reason why she did it. She really wanted to one up Jessica. And the reason why I think that even more is that when Jessica's at that party, Chelsea's more up on Jimmy, literally saying, I love you all the frigging, every 5 frigging minutes to him throughout that pool party, and touching his back and giving him attention and this, that and the other. And that's why I'm saying that's the reason why she done it, because now she's showing Jessica, I've got this man, he's mine. Chelsea does inform Trevor of, like, you know, that they did have an argument and things were said, because he was talking about how couples shouldn't really come at each other's throat. And she says it's hard to not think of Trevor sometimes. And I thought, use a plain, use a absolutely plain sheet staring emotions. That's all you're doing. So Trevor then talks about the freaking tap bracelets that they had, and the fact that he's still got his, and she's saying she's still got hers, but it's tucked away somewhere. And he was basically making a joke out of it. Don't know how much of a joke it was, but he was literally making a joke out of it, saying to him and Chelsea to let's sync up these things again and I'll start tapping it, and then making a joke to Johnny, as if to say, look, how you going to explain that to Johnny about, hey dude, I'm thinking about your wife all the time, that's why her bracelet keeps vibrating. Chelsea thought that was funny. I didn't think it was funny. I thought it was hella rude. And this is why I'm saying these people don't understand the sanctity of an engagement. The same way Sarah Ann don't understand you chased a man that was engaged to someone in order to get what you wanted, which was to split them up. So you see Jeramey and Laura talk, and I was like, at last, they're having their conversation. It needs to be let out. So Jeramey starts off with the woe is me fucking chat. He starts saying he was upset with some things that were said, and he was saying that he was 100% ready to try. So you're trying to say that Laura has no right in being angry at you right now, Jeramey? And this is why I'm saying Jeramey is a fucking child. He is an absolute man-child. He has not matured emotionally enough to deal with a person like Laura. That's why Sarah Ann is on his level. That is exactly why Sarah Ann is on his level, because they both deserve each other at the end of the day. They're both as sneaky and slimy as each other. Like, seriously, and believing in their heads that they've done nothing wrong to people. Like, absolutely done nothing wrong, and people shouldn't get angry. Because Jeramey tried to ring her up, tried to text her, tried to send her flowers. What the fuck is Flowers going to do? How the fuck is Flowers going to fix that you fucking decided to go out, see this girl until 5:30 in the next morning? 5:30 in the next morning. And not only that, when you come back, you sleep on the sofa. You don't even go in and check in on your girl in the slightest. This is the girl that you chose and got engaged to, by the way. You sit there on your phone and you wait until she has to come to you and say something to you. But yet she's supposed to be happy with your lackluster efforts of trying to make it work or trying to bridge the gap. Nah, man, that was the biggest faux pas ever on Jeramey's part. Basically, Laura calls him a con artist, which he is. He totally is, and calls him out on his bullshit by absolutely saying that you knew you had feelings for Sarah Ann. Sarah Ann should have been the person that you picked, but you did. And he didn't know how to handle that in the slightest, because there was no way he could handle someone like Laura. So I don't understand why he picked Laura when he could have picked Sarah Ann and has done the fuck shit that he did with Laura. But as time goes on, it begins to become a lot clearer. Jeramey then owns up to what he did 3 days later. 3 days later, he owns up to what he did to Laura. Laura doesn't want to hear it. So Laura says that their engagement is done. She don't want to be in this situation no more, and she's going to come back and pick up all her shit. Tell me why this man's already packed up Laura's stuff. Tell me why this man has already packed up her shit ready for her to come collect and leave with. Because this man had already cut bait. As the day that he got that DM from Sarah Ann, his loyalties changed. And I'm telling you from now, Jeramey and Sarah Ann set up that meetup. They definitely set that meetup up. I don't even think Jeramey actually went out with friends. I think that was a motherfucking story. I believe that he set this whole shit up to meet Sarah Ann, to do what the fuck he did, and made her some bold-faced promises, and that's why he's acting the way in which he is with Laura. So at the end of the day, their relationship is done. His engagement is done. And Sarah Ann's looking over at them, smizing, like absolutely smizing. And this is where I say, you know what? I really wish someone would wipe that dirty cheesy grin off this girl's face, because me not like her. Me not like Sarah Ann in the slightest, because how are you gonna take tail and run after an engagement? So the sanctity of this engagement didn't mean shit to you. So she's basically trying to say, because ID does go and have a chat with her, and ID reads this girl to hell and back. Like ID reads her up and down, left ways, right ways, and every month way to Sundays. ID reads her. Sarah Ann don't care. Sarah Ann really does not care. So ID was asking her basically, why would you go after Jeramey when you know that he was engaged to Laura at the end of the day? I said, because Sarah Ann is a thirsty biatch. That's why Sarah Ann is a thirsty biatch. So ID was asking her, did Jeramey at any point leave the door open for you? So she felt that Jeramey did leave the door open for her. And I thought, I know he did. But she was brazen with it too. She was hella brazen with it too. She says she didn't want to be a pick-me girl. She didn't want to fight for him in the pods, but she wished she had fight for him in the pods, because then it may have been a different outcome. But at the end of the day, my girl, this man did not pick you. This man did not pick you, and what you did with that DM and everything after that was a clear pick-me tactic. So Sarah Ann was being hypocritical when she said that she didn't want to be a pick-me girl, but she was. She absolutely was a pick-me girl. So she says, on that weekend, she was explaining to AD that she says she went out drinking with her girls, and then he was there. She didn't rightly know what Jeramey looked like, which I think is a damn lie, because she left that, and there's no way she wouldn't know what Jeramey looked like. She DM'd the man on Instagram. So for when you DM that man on Instagram, you would have seen his pictures. You know what he looks like. So why are you lying for all your life, Sarah Ann? Why are you lying for? So basically, she said that they went there, had this drink, and she wanted a conversation to have closure for her. She's trying to say that he dropped her off at her apartment and he didn't go in. I'm like, you full of shit. You full of shit, my girl. So I asked her the question, but how did it end? How did it end? And it was the pause for me. It was the pause for me with Sarah Ann. So I was thinking at that point in time, Sarah Ann was trying to get her story straight in what she was going to tell AD, because she knew that AD would feed that back to the rest of the group, and especially to Laura. So basically, she turned around and said, no, nothing happened untoward. All he did was drop me off. And I thought, this girl's lying. This girl's lying through her teeth. As I said, I believe it was a set, planned meetup between Sarah Ann and Jeramey. That's how I see it. That's how I see it. Laura lost Jeramey the day he got that DM. The day he read that DM from Sarah Ann. That's when Laura lost Jeramey. And I'll keep saying it. I'll keep shouting it from the rooftops, because I think it's completely true. So ID then says to her, which is what we're all thinking, so hold up, you told this engaged man he needed to figure out his stuff with his fiance. And Sarah Ann was saying that she didn't want to be in no love triangle. And I thought, this made no sense. How can Sarah Ann be saying she didn't want to be in no love triangle when the man didn't pick you, my love? The man did not pick you. So basically, what Sarah Ann did was she texted this man when they were on their honeymoon. But she knew he would not get that till he got back. So she was playing a full-on waiting game for this man to wait and see this message to see what the fuck would happen. So she flew through a literal live grenade into their relationship. She literally blew that relationship apart because she wanted Jeramey. That's what it was. And now I know when she was smizing hard, when she came back in that room after speaking to Jeramey, after he picked Laura, when she went back into the women's quarters and went over to Laura and said he chose you, and then they were having that little to-ing and fro-ing discussion, I knew from then she was waiting to make her move on Jeramey. Come hell or high water, she was going to beat Laura out for him. Like, beat Laura out. And Jeramey, the dickhead that he is, kept the door fucking open for this girl. Made no sense to me, not absolute sense to me at all. But then saying that, with the stories that's going around about him already being engaged before he came on this rotted show and living with his said woman, his fiance and her child, his actions actually don't surprise me. So AD then says to Sarah Ann, but he didn't choose you, so for you to circle back to him is crazy. And Sarah Ann didn't want to hear it. And why doesn't Sarah Ann want to hear the truth that's coming out of AD's mouth? Because she doesn't think she's done anything wrong at all. She doesn't think she's done anything wrong at all. So basically, she then keeps talking about the pods and how she should have fought for him and how she should have done X, Y, and Z. And I thought, you're full of bullshit. Don't go back to the pods, because when you sent that DM, my love, it was after the motherfucking pods. Why didn't you send that DM the day that you left? Then it would have been done after the pods. You would have been able to at least try and speak to him or go back and speak to him, but you didn't do it. So I don't understand. I don't understand her behavior. All I can put it down to is she really wanted to win out over Laura. She really wanted to take something away from Laura, and that's the only thing I can say it as. So basically, Sarah Ann then starts saying to AD that she has vengeance for her. I was like, what planet is Sarah Ann on? No, seriously, what planet is this girl on? Is she on planet delusional? Like, serious planet delusional? AD is not looking for vengeance, my love. She's definitely Team Laura, but she's not looking for vengeance. She's calling you out on your bullshit. Truth hurts at the end of the day, and Sarah Ann didn't like that truth being splayed right in her face, because at the end of the day, let's face it, let's absolutely face it, why would you go after a man? A did not pick you in the pods, B did not ask you to marry him, asked someone else to marry him, went on a freaking honeymoon, come back to play house with his woman, but then you laid in wait for this man. What does that make you, Sarah Ann? No, seriously, what does it make Sarah Ann? Because she wrecked her whole relationship. She didn't even let this relationship try and get off the ground to see where it could go in any way, shape or form. But I always say, if a man is too quick to be taken, they don't want to be in a place that they are in the first place at the end of the day. And if Sarah Ann doesn't think Jeramey won't do the same shit to her that he's done to Laura, she can think again. She can think again. Like, seriously, she can think again. So after that talk that she has with AD, well, after AD calls her backside out, Sarah Ann is livid, like absolutely livid, and then grabs Jeramey, asking him to talk, and she starts getting all upset, and she starts basically saying her intentions weren't to hurt anybody, but she's not putting up with their bullshit. No, your intentions were to hurt someone. From when you did what you did, your intentions were to hurt someone, and you knew someone will come out of that hurt, and you knew it would be Laura, because Sarah Ann set out to win at the end of the day. So my thing is, she infiltrated an engagement. She brought her ass into a space where no one was going to see her as a friend at the end of the day. She all but told that man that she was going to wait for him. That she was going to wait for him. It was the wrong choice completely. It was a piss poor message, yeah? And she shouldn't have sent it. She should not have sent that message. She's trying to say there was nothing wrong with the message that she sent, but there was. And you know, Jeramey's sitting there co-signing her bullshit. course he's going to co-sign her bullshit because he wants to cop off with Sarah Ann at the end of the day. Although I think he probably already did cop off with Sarah Ann the night that he met her. But you know what? They're going to keep that strum. They ain't going to put that across the place at the end of the day. He didn't send that message in which to sway Jeramey. And Jeramey point blank turned around and said that it didn't. Her face fell flat. You could have sliced butter with how hot her face got. Yeah. So basically Sarah Ann's sitting there that she's being painted out to be this floozy and going after an engaged man. At the end of the day, no one's painting you out to be a floozy. That's you. As the saying goes, hit dogs will holler, and Sarah Ann started hollering very loudly. And yes, she did go after an engaged man. She did go after an engaged man. So all the backlash she's getting now, that's her problem, and she needs to accept it. At the end of the day, you crossed others who were friends with Laura. You crossed these people. They're all friends with Laura. They're all team Laura at the end of the day. And you fucked her over for a man. You fucked her over for a man, and a lame-ass man at that. A lame-ass man at that. So Jeramey was literally very silent through that conversation and ad-libbing as she was going on. I didn't think Jeramey knew where to put himself at the end of the day. And I'm just like... I just can't with this season. These people are trash, for real. These people are absolute trash. It's unreal. Like, absolute trash. So, of course, Jeramey would agree with everything that Sarah Ann is saying because he's pandering to her ass right now. He doesn't want to rock the boat with her because at the end of the day, he wants to try and be with this woman now. That's what he wants. And he should have done that from the get-go. Sarah Ann is blurting about the reason why I came here was to meet the love of my life. And I'm like, my girl, your journey ended in the pods. You didn't meet the love of your life. That was the point of the motherfucking show. That weren't for you to go away and then trying to come back and steal someone else's man. That wasn't the premise of the show. Because now you've caused damage. People are going to call her out on her shit behaviour. At the end of the day, she turned around and said that she's not going to have these people saying this, Y, and Z, and she started to get tearful. And I said, go home. Then go home then. I don't understand why you brought your ass to a place where you know people knew that you fucked someone over that they liked. So why would you come? Why would you come? It's called dealing with the consequences of your actions, my girl. That's what it's called, dealing with. She's basically saying that she don't give a flip what anybody says. Jeramey's now flipped the whole script and saying he made the wrong decision in the pods, and now he thinks him and Laura should have never been together. He shouldn't have chose her, and now he wants to be with Sarah Ann. So they go off into the limelight doing fucking jet skiing with each other. And this is my thing. Jeramey literally fucked up Laura's experience within this experiment. Literally fucked it up. She thought she was going to get someone genuine. All she got was a fucking wolf in sheep's clothing. That's what she got. An absolute dickweed of a man. Anyway, as the pool party ends, we come to the next day. You see Chelsea and Jimmy starting to do wedding things and going and doing their own little ice sculptures. And basically Jimmy is saying to her that she is his person and the one he has been looking for. Again, I still don't feel them. You see Adi and Clay going to do their wedding things, and they're doing Air Force Ones and they're doing trainers for their wedding. And again, I don't see it for them either. I really don't. So Johnny and Amy are talking, and Johnny says that he's done research in regards to the birth control, and he looked at having a vasectomy, and then when he got into reading it, it was just like, yeah, no, that's not going to happen at all. He talks about the pills subject, and Amy's agreeing with him that, yeah, no, she wouldn't really want him to do the pill because it's not necessarily known what it would do for him in that sense. So Amy is now considering birth control. And all I noted from both of them is not even one of them talked about condoms. I'm like, why are you looking for the hardest scenario, yeah, in which to fix your problem? Because Amy's looking to have sex now. Amy wants to have sex now, yeah. Condoms. Literally, condoms. They're in every motherfucking chemist. You can go and see which ones suit you, which ones are the safest, which ones will be more effective than the others, what can cancel out the sperm side on it, this, that, and the other. You can go and do that. You can enjoy yourself. But no, they won't. They'd literally go in the hardest route possible. But hey ho, that's for them to sort out. So then we get to the bridal fittings. So basically, the only couples left in this scenario is AD and Clay, Chelsea and Jimmy, and Amy and Johnny. So there wasn't much to talk about in terms of the wedding fittings, but I do know how Clay was looking at Johnny when Johnny was talking about Amy and how much he was in love with her, and that his friends saw it too. Now, everybody else in that room, namely Jimmy and Johnny, spoke about them meeting their person. When it came to Clay, he spoke about him bringing his best mate, one of his best mate, because his best mate was there when he was checking for girls and doing whatever and this, that and the other for girls. And now he's seen the other end of that. Not one word did he say about AD and how he felt about AD, or even to the point of where everybody, the other two are saying that, you know, they found that one person, they found their person that they want to be with. This person makes them feel better about themselves. This person brings out the best version of them. Clay didn't say shit about AD. But then on the flip side, you see AD at her wedding fitting saying so many good things about this man. And this is why I say I don't see it for them too, because Clay is seriously not ready for marriage. He seriously is not. He's still in the mentality and the mindset that he wants to keep chasing skirt. It's not going to work out for them too, because he don't validate AD in any way, shape or form. I don't see him do that with her. I don't see him validate her. I don't see him praise her. I don't see him lift her up. Anything like that in the way that she does for him. I really don't see him do it. So basically it moves on to the couples literally going out on little dates, and AD has taken Clay out on a date, and he takes, I think he takes her out for a meal, but she looks damn good, let's just put it that way. When she gets into the car, there's this bouquet of something, I don't know what the hell it was, but it weren't flowers, but she loved it. She absolutely loved it. He says that he is far better with AD in the process, and she's basically saying that she's ready to take him to the moon. And I'm like, he keeps saying that he's a lot better throughout this process and for meeting AD, but he doesn't say how he's a lot better through this process, how AD's made him better. Nothing like that in the slightest. I think he's leaning too much on his words, and he isn't showing enough action when it comes to AD. That's how I'm seeing it, and that's why I don't think these two are going to work. I don't think he is going to say yes in the slightest. Amy and Johnny did glamping and got on really well. Chelsea and Jimmy went out for dinner, and Chelsea was basically saying that they're at the highest point of their relationship. They went to a fun part first, and then they went out to go to eat. And Chelsea's saying was sometimes with their relationship, sometimes it's hard for them because they're both testing each other. I said, you're more than fucking testing each other, let's put it this way. She's basically saying that she asked herself a lot through this process whether she could see herself marrying him. And I'm like, bitch, really? Like, seriously, you're doing this to this man now? Because Jimmy looked kind of flatlined when she said that. Like, Jimmy looked at her as if to say, what you say? Like, really, what you say, bitch? Like, seriously, are you being serious right now after the shit we just went through? You asking yourself through this process whether you could see yourself marrying me? This is why I said Chelsea. This is why I said Chelsea. You can't take anything Chelsea says seriously. Like, seriously, you really can't. Like, you really can't. So she turns around with this bold smile on her face and says, today she feels really good. And Jimmy turns around and says that it was a tough argument. I says, no, my guy, it weren't a tough argument. She caused an argument, and you had to deal with it in the best way that you could, which came to the point that you literally was going to step away until she decided that she wanted you at that point. She never loved you more at that point, which is absolutely weird in and of itself. Chelsea is emotional manipulator, controlling person. That's what Chelsea is. And she is trying to control this man till a motherfucking hilt when it comes to navigating this relationship, when it comes to her basically trying to keep this man where she wants him to be, and wants him to literally be up and down on this roller coaster of emotions with her all the time. So that's why she's sitting there and saying, well, I questioned through this process whether I could see myself marrying you. Yeah, because she wants to cast a line of doubt within this man's mind to make him worry. That's what she wants to do, which is fucking piss poor behavior, if you ask me. Like, absolutely piss poor behavior. So basically, Jimmy said to her that he's doing everything that he can, and told her that she is his person. So he asked her point blank, are we going to get married? As he doesn't know where she is at right now. With all the freaking bullshit that he's put him through, you would think that this girl would know where she's at in terms of saying yes to this man. You would think she would be there, but no. This girl had this terrified freaking look on her face when he asked her that. And the biggest gap ever. And I just thought, well, if Jimmy was your person, you wouldn't hesitate but to tell him that. The way he hasn't hesitated to tell Chelsea how he felt about her, and that she was his person, and that he is in it. He's in it 100%. But she freaking had that, as if to say, and I'm like, my girl, what? My girl, what? And that is where that episode ended. And this is where I am going to leave it. But I'll be back in quick succession once the new episodes come up, which I think is Wednesday. Over the weekend, I am planning to do Married at First Sight Australia, those couple of episodes, and plus the Married at First Sight UK reunion special. So you will get those over the weekend. And as I always say, please hit that subscribe button. Please hit that notification button for you know I'm on and doing videos. And I'll speak to you all again soon. Peace out.